Hey, Sarah, welcome. Okay, so tonight I'm kind of going to go over some of the things that we touched on with the John C. Maxwell call. I love, love, love his calls, and I love even more, and this is what I want you guys to implement, is starting using his ACT method. And at Summit, he talked about this, we talked about this a little bit at the Line Leaders. So the A stands for it, either action or act, put it into play. So after I go through, and I love to take notes when I'm doing personal development, and then I just will go through anything that I want to take action on, I just put an A next to it all. Anything that I need to change, it's ACT. C stands for change. T stands for teach. So like teach your team or teach, other coaches and stuff. So the C is change. So anything that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I need to kind of redo my 21-day fix script or redo my 21-day fix group. I'm going to put a C next to all of that. And then the T is teach. So if I'm like, oh, that's a great thing, I want to teach my coaches. And it could be anything. It might be doing a social media thing, and I'm like, oh, I need to teach my coaches to upload their things straight to Facebook and not share from Instagram. So, and then what I do is I go through and I take like my top 3 or 4 ACT, and I arrange them from most important, like the one that I like the best, down. And so like I go through and I do that after every John C. Maxwell call. I've got my A's, I've got my C, and I've got my T. And so that to me is something like I'm going to make a point to put these things into action. I'm going to make a point to change these things. And then I'm going to make a point to make posts throughout the week to teach my team these other things. So I really, really love that. It's so simple and it's so easy to not do. Like after you're done, you could be like, oh, I did it. But when you go that extra step and do that, it makes a huge change. So, okay, so there are 8 things emotionally strong people do, is what John C. Maxwell touched on this week. And I just loved it because, emotionally strong is something that we all would love to be able to describe ourselves as, but a lot of times we're our biggest critic with stuff like that. And we're like, I don't know, I'm pretty hard on myself. I don't know that I just had a total meltdown today, so I don't know if I can consider myself emotionally strong, So, but as a leader, you do have to kind of be able to change your thought process and not just be like, I just can't do that, or not giving yourself less time to have a pity party about things like that too. So, okay, just muted. All right, so the first thing, emotionally strong people do not waste time feeling sorry for themselves. I had to make this an A today because I was having a really long pity party. It was terrible. I think I reached out to like everyone under the sun to be like, listen, what's happening to me? Like, it was awful. And people were just like, I'm so sorry. Like, what do you want me to do? Get over it. Like, pull it on your big girl pants and get over it. And that nobody could fix anything. I just was venting just because I wanted to have a whiny pity party. And so this was just something like so perfect. I had to go back to that. And I was like, people that are successful, John C. Maxwell is not going to sit there and cry about something, for a really long time. So it's just kind of like join the crowd. Like it's people that are successful, they don't just not have things go wrong. They do, but they deal with it a different way. They say, okay, what can I learn from it? Where can I go from here? Versus like crying, sobbing, being ridiculous, like, we want to do. And I do often. Okay, so one of his quotes is, you can't moan and lead at the same time. I love that. You can't. When I made that post today, I was not being a leader. I was just basically like, hey, like this is something that's going on. I'm struggling. And so, it's fine to do that, but you just kind of have to be able to say, okay, this happened. Let's move on from it. And so John C. Maxwell says, give yourself a 24-hour rule. Give yourself 24 hours to either celebrate if you signed on a coach, you reached Emerald, you reached Diamond, whatever. Give yourself 24 hours, but don't be like, oh, I'm Diamond. I don't have to do anything for 2 weeks because I'm Diamond now, So give yourself 24 hours to celebrate. Or if it's something terrible, like they miscalculated something. They thought something was going to be totally huge. They thought it was going to be like $1.5 million revenue from something they were launching with his huge business, John C. Maxwell, and they underestimated it by like $1.2 million. So it was a huge bomb for the amount of time that they invested because they thought they were going to get this huge return. And so he said, I gave myself 24 hours to be upset about it, but then I know that I just have to keep going, and crying about it is not going to help. So I really, really love that, because that's something I really struggle with. And then also in the other mindset is that the first 2 weeks of August, I was on it. I was messaging people. I was going gun-ho. I was on the phone nonstop. And my Success Club points were awesome. And then for the third week, like second, third week, I was just kind of like, oh, I have X number of Success Club points. I'm good here. Wasn't as important to me. And then, that could be part of the reason why I was crying about my paycheck today. Like I just got in the funk that I was like, I'm good here. So I love this. People a lot of time think like, oh, the whole world against me. And like, you just can't think that. Like, you can't just be sitting there like crying about it, because some people don't even know you. So the whole world is not against you. You just kind of have to like change that mindset. Master your emotions. Just a little quote. He's like, if I feel depressed, I'm going to sing. If I feel sad, I will laugh. If I feel ill, I'm going to double my labor. Like doing it when you don't feel like it. If I feel fear, I will plunge ahead. If I feel poverty, I will think of wealth to come. So just changing your whole mindset, instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to pay my bills, I'm going to be broke forever. Just being like, you know what, I'm going to put in the work today so I can think about all these awesome trips I'm going to be able to take later. So number 2, emotionally strong people don't allow others to control the relationship. This is huge, especially as a new coach, I feel, because you're like, oh, so just let me know if you can watch that webinar and then we can get on the phone. And then they're like, you don't answer. Don't worry. Yeah, no, my time doesn't matter. It's fine. Let's just focus on you, just not being like, don't let somebody else control the relationship. You need to be confident. You need to show them that, this is a business. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to send you the recording, but I'm going to figure out a time, a date, and I'm going to get this set on my calendar because I'm a busy person. I'm not going to wait for you to watch it and then maybe get back to me. And when you do it that way, people are going to respect your time. I have some coaches that I've called twice and they don't answer. And then they're like, oh, when can we get back on the phone? I'll have some people that are like, oh, can we talk right now? And I would love to, but I just can't do that because I would be screwing up the rest of my day. I had to prep for calls. I had to do all this stuff. Like, I can't just drop things. And so as much as I would love to help people and be really, really super flexible for their schedule, I have to respect myself before I can help other people. So don't just like kind of stress yourself out because you're trying so much to please other people. You have to kind of say like, sorry, my power hour is my business hours are 6 to 9 p.m. and that's when our call is scheduled. If you want to reschedule, we can do that, but I just don't have availability. That's my family time. That's this, whatever. Let's see. The weakest person usually controls the relationship because when they're, you're just, nope, that's not the right, ignore that. I had to fill in the blank and I filled in the blank wrong. So it's the opposite of that. Not really good at fill in the blank. Okay. John C. Maxwell will not give away this to other people. If people don't have a good attitude, he's not going to give away, he's not going to give away his good attitude to people that are just like, no, have every excuse under, the book. I don't have the time. I don't have this. He's not going to give away his time to people that aren't making the time. Or, if he's already said, like, kind of like a coach, you tell them, okay, you just need to be posting consistently. This is our getting started right, Be Your Boss video. I want you to check that out, and then we'll get on the phone. If they haven't posted, they haven't even read the email, they haven't watched the video, I'm not going to go all out and make all of this stuff and say, oh, don't worry, we'll just get on the phone and I'll describe everything that was in the email that you ignored to you. I'm going to be like, okay, catch up on all that, and then we can reschedule. I do that for a reason, because if you sit there and spend that hour that the Be Your Boss covers all that stuff with every coach, that's silly. That's an hour you could be working on your business. That's an hour you could be helping other coaches who want it more. priorities. Don't give away your priorities to people who aren't making you or this business a priority. It's different. Like you get the first month of a new coach, and you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and you're going to give them that love. But when people are in it, and you're looking at coaches that have been doing this for a while, and they're not showing you that they really want it, you just need to be, strong and not be bending over backwards for people who aren't willing to go, the extra mile for you. He says he will not give away potential to other people that don't, send it back to him. And passion's a huge thing. He's not going to waste his passion on people that aren't putting out, passion right back. So always take the high road. Be a good forgetter. Business dictates it, and success demands it. So being able to, forget things that have happened and not hold grudges and not, say, oh, that didn't work last time, so I'm afraid to do it this time. Just knowing that every day is a new day. And don't be afraid to try the same thing you've done in a different way. Instead of being like, it didn't work last time, go back, review it, see how you can make it better. Emotionally strong people embrace change. And if you can get this down, this is awesome. This is you like wanting to get out of your comfort zone. This is you wanting to stretch yourself. And this is one of the biggest things that people just get stuck in this little bubble where they feel comfortable and they don't want to embrace change because, they may be comfortable hitting Success Club 5 and that's it every month. But if you want to reach your why list, that goals of, quitting my job, paying off debt, you're going to need to continue to be better. Skating along, Success Club 5 is awesome, don't get me wrong, but you're not going to be skating, down the line as the same 6 months from now as you are today and expecting different results. So, just the people that look for change, the opportunity is always in the area of change. And it's always something that you don't feel comfortable doing. I put off doing this webinar that we're doing tonight forever. It's been on my should-do list for probably a year. And, I think it's going to be really great because, for me, I'm very family-oriented. For me, my biggest thing is paying off debt and being able to spend more time with like the ones I love. And, Kelly, her webinars are more so because this is how her team dynamic is, or, Wonderwalls who want to move to another country and want to travel the world and want to do this. And don't get me wrong, I would love to travel, but family stuff is really what comes first. And, being able to take family trips means more to me than being like, oh, I want to like do a 72-day tour of every, luxurious, whatever. I can't even talk, but I can't even make it up, but you know what I mean? So I just think that it's going to be cool because like attracts like, and, we kind of, may have things that resonate more with you through me. And if that it does resonate with you more from Kelly, then feel free to use that. But that's just been something that's been on my to-do list forever. And I kept putting it off because change is scary. And why not, if something's not broke, why fix it? I already have this webinar of Kelly's. Why do I need to, spend all this time and do my own? But I'm so glad I did. I'm really excited for it. Fight personal complacency. And I've been battling that a lot this month. I just have been like, oh, I'm good here. This is fun. And if I want to go out and do this and do that, and I don't want to work and I'm going to spend time doing this. And I just kind of got complacent and I wasn't going above and beyond. And, and then it shows. And, it's not that you need to always constantly be stressing yourself and thinking, I need to do no more. I'm not good enough. But if you have these big, hairy, scary goals, which I do, complacency is not something that's going to get you there. Steve Jobs says, erase the board of your achievements and allow yourself to be a beginner again. I love that. It's kind of like, okay, so instead of focusing on, I did this, that's awesome and celebrate it, but erase it and now dream bigger, because you can't just be riding on that, being on your coattail forever. Like, oh, I hit diamond, I'm good. You want to be focusing on the next big goal. Never underestimate your power to change yourself and never overestimate your power to change others. I feel like this is huge in relationships. This is huge in this business. It's just, you can change yourself. You have the decision to change your attitude. You can change, do personal development. And you would love to be like, oh, if I could just get this coach, and if she could just post every day, and if she could just send 3 messages, she would be awesome. But that would be overestimating my power to change others, because I can't do it for them and they have to want it. So I really love that. The person who wants to help others change must ask and answer 3 questions. So if you want to help, your coaches change, ask yourself, is it worth it? If not, why waste the effort? If that's not worth it in the end, then think about if it's worth your effort. Will they do it? If not, why waste your effort? Every time you're asking yourself, why waste your effort? Can they do it? And that's a big thing too. You don't want to sign on a coach and be like, okay, your goal is to get to diamond in 2 weeks. I know you can do it. You are setting somebody up for failure. So, and I don't want you to do it on the other end either and being like, okay, so we're going to try to get you to diamond in like 6 months. It's really hard. So let's just try real hard. The best thing that I've changed is just tell people how it's easy to get to Emerald. You keep talking to people, you keep inviting people. It's easy. Don't make people think that it's a big scary thing that people are going to tell you no. People are going to think you're a freak for asking them. Just make people feel like it's easy. Super simple to do. The more people you ask, the more people that will say yes. And the same thing for Diamond. You get to Emerald, you can totally do that. Super easy. Your first month, as long as you're talking to people. And, then you get to Emerald again, then you get to Emerald again, and then you get to Emerald again, and then you're Diamond. So it's just a mindset. The more people you ask to, the sooner you'll get there. Okay, so in review, emotionally strong people do not waste time feeling sorry for themselves or celebrating themselves. They emotionally strong people do not allow others to control the relationship, and emotionally strong people embrace change. Number 4 is emotionally strong people do not waste energy on things they can't control. Who feels like they are this is a big issue for them? This was like a big fat A on this one. You all look frozen. Can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself or wave or give me a high thumb? Yeah? Okay. All right, you were all really frozen. So yeah, this is something that I am just a worrywart by nature. I worry about everything under the sun, and I don't have nothing to do with me, and I'm going to worry about it. So, but you notice that emotionally strong people, especially like that we've kind of drilled this into, we're not going to sit there and rant about the traffic and post about how our luggage, this happened to our luggage, and everything that happened bad to you under the sun. Yeah, it stinks, and you might talk to your, best friend, your significant other about it, but we're not going to go and put it out on Facebook. That's not going to help you. That's not going to help other people. So, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to bring other people down into that. In a bad situation, you can just recognize that the one thing that you can always control is your response and your attitude to it. Things are always going to happen, but it's your response to that situation. It's your attitude about it. And it's your like, okay, how can we move forward with this? Let's see. I love this too. People who do devalue us do not determine our value. They don't. If you're not going to sit here and respect me, you do not determine my value whatsoever. Our surroundings do not control our spirit. And this is by Nelson Mandela. Like he was, and imprisoned and, going through all this like terrible stuff. And he's saying our surroundings need not control our spirit. People who devalue us do not determine our value. Once he was, in prison, he was a number. He was no longer a person. They didn't respect him. He was a nobody. And he still, had this attitude. Out of our brokenness, we can be made whole and bring healing to others. And that one really resonated with me because, with having eating disorders, with having no self-confidence, if I didn't go through that, I don't know that I would be so passionate about what I do now. If I didn't go through that time where I absolutely hated myself, I weighed myself every day at multiple times a day. And that was how I would determine how my day went, is what the number on the scale said. It totally defined me. So, you know, out of our brokenness to be able to heal others, like I went through that. I can help people understand that your value is not determined by the number on the scale. So I really, really loved that one. Emotionally strong, number 5, emotionally strong people do not worry about pleasing others. So do we have anybody that are chronic people pleasers and it bothers you if people don't like you? Like, yeah, want to like, you know, oh, well, that offended you? Let me totally change everything about this to make you not be offended, you know? So yeah, I feel like that's a big, common denominator on our team as well. So do not become too concerned about what others may think of you. Be very concerned about what you think of yourself. I love that. Like, don't care what other people think of you. How do you think of yourself? Do you think you're strong? Do you think you're beautiful? Do you think you're, you know, confident? Do you think you're successful? Like, you need to think that about yourself and screw anybody else, because it does not matter. It really, truly does not matter. And, in this past year, I've really done some counseling for my anxiety. And one of the biggest things that I've found comfort in is just being like, I am good enough for God, and screw all of you people. I am beautifully and wonderfully made exactly how He wanted me. If you don't like me and I'm trying my darndest to be the best version of myself, I can't help you. I don't care. And I just feel like that has been something that's been so huge lately. Just like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't like my guacamole post. I don't care if you think my stupid faces are annoying. Defriend me, block me, goodbye. And those are people that you want to work with anyways. Like, I have had so many friends, even family members, like, make fun of my posts, and I really don't care, because I work from home doing what I love in my pajamas, and you have to drive to a job that you complain about all the time, and I'm going to really be able to, you know, make a really good living out of this business when your employer is always going to determine what you're paid based off what they think you're worth, not your effort like mine. And I just kind of like have that, and I'm not going to like say that out loud to them, but that makes me feel better thinking that, like, you can go ahead and make fun of me. I love my life. I love who I am as a person now and who I'm becoming. Let's see. The easiest thing in the world to be is you. The most difficult thing to be is what other people want you to be. So true. Don't let them put you in that position. The opposite of courage is not fear, it is conformity. The most exhausting and frustrating thing in life is to live it trying to be someone else. I was just like, that whole thing, I was like, that for me, thinking about that, that was my whole like college. I was trying to be somebody else. I was trying to, you know, fit into my roommate's jeans. I was trying to do my hair like this person. I was trying to be able to dance like this person when we went out. Like, all this stuff, I just was never happy being me, and I was always trying to be somebody else, and it's just absolutely exhausting, and you're never going to be happy with yourself if it's that way. So I feel like this is just such a great kind of the best thing about being a coach is the more you work on yourself, the better coach you're going to be to so many other people. And when you find things that work for you, just share that with your, you know, coaches. For me, I created a mantra, and I put it right above my computer where I can see every day. And I say it with a smile, and I say, I am beautiful, I am confident, I am strong, and I am good enough. And that to me is something my biggest thing that I always tell myself is find what that negative thought is, that kind of that reoccurring negative thought. Me, I'm always like, I'm not good enough. I didn't do this enough. I'm not good enough. And that's where I need to tell myself, I need to remind myself I am good enough. And it sounds silly, but honestly, like I say it all the time, and I have one for when I'm running too. I've been really upping my training and doing a lot of hard workouts that I like either feel like I'm going to die because I can't breathe with my asthma or what. And when I'm doing it, when I feel like, okay, I just have to walk, but I'm with other people and we're doing a speed workout, I say it in my head, and I say, I am strong, fast. What do I say? Oh, I'm beautiful, strong, fast, and happy. And I say happy at the end because when I'm thinking that in my head, I'm kind of like, it's kind of hard not to smile. So it makes you in a better mood too. While I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like death. So I even use it with working out too. I love, love, love mantras. Okay. Let's see. Number 6. Let me know if you're all frozen again. I have no idea what's going on. Okay. Are you good? Can you hear me? Can you post in the chat if you can hear me? Like, all of you are frozen and I don't want to be talking. Okay, thank you. I don't know what's going on. I have to check my internet. Okay, number 6, emotionally strong people take calculated risks. So to continually succeed, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's like the number one thing. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's like, that should just be your Beachbody motto, because I feel like every day I'm like, if I'm doing something that's on my should-do list that I don't want to be doing, it's uncomfortable, but I know I need to do that. Like when I was going through and making my freemium, it was a lot of work and I was so uncomfortable. I didn't want to do it, but now I have almost 100 people on my email list from doing that. I knew it needed to be done. That's people I can reach out to. I've been plugging in that freemium. I've been plugging them, reaching out to me, telling me, you know, if they want to join our next challenge group, and I've gotten some leads from it. So it was very uncomfortable doing, but I know that it was worth it and it's going to help me out. Okay, so how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Take the most difficult and important risk, and it's just kind of like being honest with yourself. The most difficult and important risk. So you can go through and take and write down a bunch of things that you feel like you should do for your business this year. You know, for me, some of mine were that I wanted to make my freemium. I wanted to make a What is Coaching webinar. I want to film my own kind of like Be Your Boss, the Kelly video I send my new coaches, so that it can all be my training. So basically, I want to take a lot of the things that I'm using other leaders and make it my own, so that I can have my face instead of being like, hey, this is my coach, you know, and it's really uncomfortable because I'm kind of like, if it ain't broke, why do I need to do that? But it's just something for me that I know that it will be helpful, because just little things like my silly sense of humor may be better received than somebody else that they don't know on a coaching or training thing. So all those things that I feel like it's going to be difficult, but it's an important risk. Or, you know, reaching out to people on Instagram, or going into figuring out Periscope, you know, not that you need to get your hands in everything, but there's plenty of things that I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. But I know it would be successful. Like if I would go through and figure out how to use Periscope and be like, once a week, I'm going to do a meal prep Periscope where people are going to follow me and I'm going to show them exactly how to make a meal in 20 minutes or less. You know, wouldn't that be really helpful and really beneficial? And some people would probably really appreciate that, you know, especially if it was 10 minutes or less. But that's something that I'm like, oh, you know, I just don't know. But I know that that's going to add value and that's going to help. And number 2, how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Desire learning more than winning or losing. It is not about if you won. It is not about if you lost. It is about, what can I take away from this? You know, there's been some like Major League, like say baseball, and if they are, you know, their team won, but they don't, like their, you know, manager didn't feel like they deserved it. It's almost like, I'm not happy about this win. We didn't deserve it. We played like crap. We made so many errors. Like we didn't deserve it. And so I would rather, instead of focusing on winning or focusing, you know, on not losing, but figuring out, what can I learn from this? You know, how can I go forward? And that's just with everything. It's just, reflecting is huge. And a lot of times we get so caught up and we don't want to reflect because we're like, no, I already did that. I'm done. But when you sit back and take a look and say, you know, for me, like I'll go back through my binder and I'll say, okay, this week I had a crap ton of success goal points. I was writing down everybody. I was highlighting them. I was following up. And then let me show you the week of the 17th, last week. Oh, I have no idea why I had such a bad paycheck. Like I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And so that's what I did today. When I was sitting there having a pity party, I was like, let me go back through, see who I talked to, see what I didn't do. And then I was like, I have no reason to sit here. It's all me. Like I wasn't doing the things I needed to be doing. And so reflecting is so huge, and I did that today too. After a run, I made a post about that because we had our fastest pace ever. We have a group that does hills every Thursday morning. And I just wanted to look back because you have to be, instead of saying, oh, that was great, but now I want to shoot for this pace, or I want to shoot for this pace, you have to look back and say, when I first started this, I was dying at 9:30 pace, and we did an 8:30 pace today. So just being able to look back and say, hey, this isn't that bad. This life I live is not so bad. And being able to look back at your accomplishments instead of like, I want to be diamond. Look back on everything that you've been able to achieve so far. Or star diamond. I know, Sarah, you're already there. I sat at diamond for over a year. And I watched my friends hit 1 star. I watched my friends hit 2 star. I watched all these people have all this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, still diamond, nobody, and it was so frustrating. And you just kind of have to say that whole time I was recruiting coaches. I was doing this. I was focusing on volume. And even though I was having successful points, and even though I wasn't popping out diamonds, I was still building my business. And that's why, everything I was doing then is still helping me today. So it's not that I was just sitting around twiddling my thumbs. You have to think about the good things you are doing. Okay, number 7, emotionally strong people do not make the same mistake over and over. I said that today, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. It's not going to happen in your workouts, in your business, in anything. It's not going to happen. If you go to the treadmill and do 10 minutes every day at 3.5 miles per hour at a 0% incline and say, oh my gosh, I'm not getting any results. Well, your body gets used to it. You have to keep going. You have to up your speed. You have to up your waist. You have to do more. You can't just think that a year, oh, why am I plateauing? Because you've been doing the same weights for 21 Day Fix for a year. That's why, things like that. And I kind of talked on this a lot too, but self-reflection is just so huge with not doing the same thing over and over and looking back and saying, how can I learn? How can I change that? The old rule in business was when it's over, it's over. The new rule should be that an event isn't over until after you have learned from it. And I love that too. Just kind of always, if I do this with messages, I was kind of going back through and I used to think, oh, it's midnight, but I didn't get these messages out. So, and for a long time I sent a message and I said, hey girl, I know it's late, but I just wanted to reach out to you and see how you're doing. And let's chat tomorrow. We'll talk about your goals and your workouts. And I was like, good, done. I got my messages in and I felt awesome about myself. And I went back through and I was kind of looking at messages. Nobody ever messaged me the next day. Nobody. That's not something that works. So for me, I'm not going to send those messages at midnight just to say, oh, I got my messages in. I'm going to wait until tomorrow and do a message that means something, not, hey, let's check in tomorrow. There's not really any point in me messaging you now, kind of thing. So I found that doesn't work for me and I'm going to learn from it. So being able to go back, keeping track of things is the best thing, because if you don't have a system in place, it's really hard to reflect. So make it easy for yourself to be able to reflect too. Okay, so then he has 5 points for reflection. Review, daily, every evening, kind of take a look at, take a break and visit, yourself. Visit, what happened in my world today. And these sound kind of crazy, but like if you think about it, the most successful people are the people that spend extra time in reflecting, reevaluating, and coming up with new ideas. Okay, so the first one was review. The second one is think to myself. Human nature seems to endow every person with the ability to size up everyone but yourself. And so, you're so quick to be like, oh, this about her, or this about her, but think about it about you. What did I learn about myself today? And then talk to yourself. 95% of your emotions are determined by the way that you talk to yourself. So, are you giving yourself positive reinforcement? Or are you telling yourself, you're so stupid, you wasted so much time, things like that. Say, what do I need to hear me say? If you're struggling with something and you have a lot of negative thoughts, what do you need to constantly be reminding yourself so that you can, start to think about it daily? Because the more that you can change your attitude. So the more that you remind yourself those things that you think negatively about, the more that you are going to be able to pick up on those. Direct myself. What is on my I should do list that I should be doing? And I've talked about this a lot. And I do this all the time. In my planner, or not my planner, I have I take notes with all my personal development. And so I have a should do list. And I just write out everything that I feel like I should eventually do. It doesn't all have to get done today, but I write it all down. And then I try to start chipping away at it by writing down, okay, what should-do list am I going to try to tackle this week? So make video on working spouse's business. So somebody asked me to make a video on that. So that's on my should-do list. So I'm going to go through and break that down. What do I have to do first? Make some notes about how I did it. Maybe research some other people, like, other successful coaches that are working their spouse's business. Maybe watch a couple of YouTube videos and then put something together for myself. Film my video, record my video, kind of thing. Coaching webinar. So then I wrote down, watch Kelly's coaching webinar and take notes. Ask for Kelly's coaching webinar template. Save photos on Facebook and add to folder to put into my coaching webinar. So I broke it down into simple, easy steps because I had make coaching webinar on my should-do list for a year, but I didn't do it because I was just like, I don't have time to do that. But if you break it down into short little 10 to 20 minute segments, that's so easy. Yes, you can go do that. So that's kind of the biggest thing that's helped me, because when something stresses me out and I don't want to do it, I'm going to be like, instead I have go to the post office on my to-do list. So I'm going to do that instead. I always pick something that's super easy because I don't want to do that other thing. So if I look through and I see, watch Kelly's video and take notes, I can do that. Save photos that you want to use in your webinar, I can do that. So that has been so huge for me just because I get really easily overwhelmed. So I love the should-do list. And then number 5 is take action myself. No one can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with himself. So, does my reflection lead to action? So instead of just saying, okay, I'm going to reflect on all these things, I'm going to go back and see what I've done, and instead of just reflecting to say, okay, April told me to reflect, I'm done, take action and put it into place. And that's where another thing where the ACT is really great, and that really helps. So, okay, let's see what else. Emotionally strong people do not expect immediate results. Who here gets really irritated if they've been busting their butt and they're like, I don't have 10 successful points yet. Yep. So many people told you oh, sure, Friday, I'm going to sign up. I'm so excited. And Friday comes along and you're like, okay, they're not answering my messages, things like that. So, you kind of think okay, well, if I'm doing this, I think that I should have immediate results. And it just doesn't happen. I'm sorry, it does not. And that's why I tell everyone, just be here a year from now. Everything you're doing every day, when you're being consistent, is going to help you in the long run. But you're not gonna wake up and be like Lindsay Matway status where you're like, I have 7 business centers and I'm a bajillionaire. It's not gonna happen. But I have no idea who that was. Did you see that person on there? I have had so many Zoom calls today with people, and because people shared this link, people, when they go to click on it to download, it like instantly brings it up. And I was like on a Zoom call with 2 other coaches earlier. We're like, so next time I'm going to reflect and learn from this and take some action and give a separate Zoom link for the 8:30, because this has been so funny. It's like the 5th person that I've been like, hi. Okay. So major league teams invited somebody to spring training. So this kid comes to spring training and he's sending like a wire back to his mom. He says, "Dear Mom, I'm leading all the batters." I posted this in our group. "I'm leading all the batters. These pitchers are not so tough." A week later, he says to her again, "Looks like I'll be the starting infielder. Now I'm hitting 500. And then a week into the 3rd week, he said, "Dear Mom, they've started throwing curves. I'll be home Friday." And, it's just kind of like, whether it's baseball or business, it's not a 1 or 2 week hot streak. It's not. And that's kind of like what I did the first, 2 weeks of August. I was like, it's Team Cup. I'm doing this. I'm on a hot streak. And then 3rd week, I was like, oh, I don't have leads because I didn't send out my, new messages that I was supposed to. I just didn't do those things. And if you're not consistently growing and teaching yourself, you're not going to just, be, successful forever because you had those 2 good weeks. And I feel like, Danielle is a perfect example of this. When she signed on, she was doing everything. She was talking to people. She was posting. And girl is like, dude, I don't have any Success Club points. What am I doing wrong? Like, nobody will talk to me, And so, and Kim Boyd is another good example of that. But they are the most consistent people. And, they're hitting Success Club now. They're building their teams now. And it just shows you that, some people are like in the right place at the right time. Molly started off and she's got so many, awesome contacts for people that when she was dancing and, people in the restaurant, oh my gosh, I swear half our team is people from the restaurant that I used to work with. Yay, Danielle, I see 10. But yeah, if you know people in a restaurant, you just need to talk to them because they make awesome coaches is what I've discovered. But yeah, so, I had a lot of people. I had, contacts from people I went to school for exercise science. I personal trained. I had all these contacts. So I kind of was like, boom, I put it out there. And then I had one girl give me 4 referrals. And from that, I had this awesome first month as a coach. And then it kind of dwindled the second month. So there's some people that, keep working and working and working to be successful. And then there's some people that are like, boom, I'm successful at 10. Look at it. I think I made almost $300 in 1 week in my first month as a coach because I was just selling. And then that second month, it was like a wake up call. Like, yeah, this business is not just always going to be flying at you this way. So, yeah, I really like, kind of using that as an example. Okay, so how do you become an overnight success? You work repeatedly hard. You continue to just keep doing the things that you need to be doing every day. You show up every day, you do the work, you try new things, you fail, you improve, you grow, you face countless changes and rejections, you doubt yourself, you want to quit, but you don't, and you do it all over again. And so I just love that. I love that. It's not hard. It's not brain surgery. You're just doing those same things every day. And I think the first month there was a couple days where I didn't do my business because I was just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do it when I can. After that first month, not a day went by that I don't do something for Beachbody. And I'm not saying that everybody has to do that. If you just want to get your shakes paid for and buy some cute shoes, you don't need to do that. But for me, I was like, I hate my job. I'm quitting my job. And I hate my husband's job. So I'm going to make him quit his job too. So that for me, that was my whole thing was I'm not going to just do this to get my shakes paid for. I personally, my why is to have both of us being able to do what we want to do. So it just depends too on your why. I don't want you to think that I'm sitting here telling you you suck. If your goal is to get your shakes paid for and get in good shape and you're doing that, then good for you. But, you just kind of have to think about your why. So you cannot change your direction overnight, but you can't, you can change your direction overnight, but you cannot change your destination overnight. So you can change your attitude, you can change the things that you're doing, but you can't change where, you're landing your success overnight. But I love that too. And that was one of my T's, a big thing to teach. So I made a post about that, the other day. So I know you guys were, kind of taking notes and kind of, thinking about this. So I would love for you to go back through and do ACT with this as well. And then when I post the call recording, I'd love for you to post that below. I'm just going to talk to you about my A's right now. So my personal A's and things that I need to take action on are in bad situations, or in a bad situation, one thing I can control in response, one thing I can control is my response and attitude. I can't control what happened, but I can control my response and my attitude. So that's my one action that I want to take. The second thing is to continually succeed, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And so that was something that I need to really apply and get out of my comfort zone more often. So okay, so from that, do you guys have any questions or something? Do you want to tell me something that you really want to work on from what we talked about tonight, or anything at all? I would love to tell you your kind of like biggest takeaway, something that you want to put into action for yourself. So go ahead and unmute yourself and, kind of tell me. Grace, you totally look naked, by the way. Now you don't. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, welcome to our show, Derek. Okay, so tell us your action items from what we went over. So what are your biggest takeaways, guys?
I've had my freemium thing that I want to do on my board every single day for like the last 2 weeks. And when I do my to-do list for the new day, I just erase it and move it to the next day and then move it to the next day. So I'm hoping to get that actually done so I can permanently cross it off.
Okay, what do you want your freemium to be?
I want to do a meal plan. Like one that I went through, I picked all the meals and then like a couple workouts to go with it. Okay. More of like a 7-day type thing.
Okay, so what I would do is like tomorrow, I would say find 5 easy breakfast recipes. And then the next day on your to-do list, I would say find 5 lunch recipes. So break it down that way. And you can start your Word document and kind of like get pictures and the recipes and just put them in there. And what I did was I looked at people's Instagram, or I would Google it, whatever, and then just at the in the Word document, I would say where I found it, whether it was the website or the Instagram name. And then I just at the very end said, hey, some of these were mine and some of these were found the following places. And I just listed Instagram names and I listed blogs. And go to them, because it's not saying I did it all, but I put it all right in front of you, and that's the value in it. Okay. So yeah, I would break it down that way, and that's so much easier. Like, okay, I can find 5, just Google, 21-day fix friendly recipes or something.
Right. And it's the same thing that you were saying, because I see it up on my board and I'm like, well, I can go do this and that will take 10 minutes versus doing that and that'll take me all afternoon.
Yeah, I have like 3 things over there that have been there forever. And I'm like, oh, break those down into...
Well, it's even so bad that Jason has been like, what's this freemium thing that you keep erasing and rewriting? I'm like, nothing.
That's funny. Yeah, break it down into, even if it takes you 2 weeks to do, break it down, and that way at least it'll get done. So, cool. Molly.
Hi.
Hi.
My biggest thing is the same with you. What was it? Fight personal complacency. Once I hit Success Club, I'm like, okay, I'm good. That was my goal. And then I mean, not that I stopped, but I'm just not as strong as I was when I first started. And that's something that before you even said it today in the chat, that's something that I actually thought about a couple days ago. Like, why am I doing this? Like, I could probably be doing so much better.
Yeah.
Like, what I'm doing is good, but I'm sorry if you hear my dog getting wild in the back. But yeah, that's my biggest thing for sure.
Okay, so maybe a better thing for you to do is to set a full month goal and set it higher than what you're comfortable with, and then set a weekly goal each week. Like, okay, so if my total goal, like I'm gonna up it, and I want my goal to be Success Club 16 this month. So if my goal is 16, I have to have at least 4 Success Club points no matter what each week. Or if it's 20, 5 or 5 to 6 Success Club points each week no matter what. So when you look at it weekly instead of monthly, that's kind of better too. Instead, because also your paycheck is every week. So if you sell 10 challenge packs, in the first week, that's not going to help you out all month long. And if your goal is to, pay off your debt, quit your job, that kind of stuff, you kind of just have to think like, okay, well, is doing this A right here going to get me to point B? No. So, just kind of start setting different goals of, oh my gosh, your mom hopped off before I could ask her.
She's back.
Oh, she's back. I was like, is she trying to get out? So yeah.
She's like, no, don't pick me.
Mom, it's your turn. What did you take away from this?
Maybe she's back.
Is the Brandel 65? Is that her?
Yeah, that's her. I don't know.
I noticed that too, like especially because I'm still like I have one more month to hit Success Club and then I get my free summit ticket. So now it's like every time I hit Success Club 5, I'm like, okay, like if nothing else happens this month, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like once I know next month, once I hit it and I know I get my free ticket and I get my money back, then I'll be like, okay, now it's like balls to the wall.
Yeah.
There's no pressure.
Danielle, honestly, I would take your Success Club to 10 every month. With you working this full time, your new goal was Success Club 10 every month.
Yeah, well, it was pretty easy to hit this month. And I have, like I was telling Kim, I have so many people that this month told me they would do it and then backed out or quit responding that I should be at like Success Club 30 or 40.
Oh, yeah.
So even like if 4 or 5 of them each month finally come on, I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have, I wrote down everybody that said yes, gave me a time, date that they were doing it, or that I sent them the link. 10 people that were supposed to buy challenge packs.
Yeah, I think I have 12.
20 Success, 20 Success Club points. I don't know who Derek is. I really don't. It's bothering me. Who is Derek?
Well, maybe he'll be back later.
Okay. I was like, who is that? Okay, so Nancy, you're back. What's your
where you make bracelets and tie.
Okay, hold on.
They're like green.
Oh, I just muted Nancy. Okay. Nancy, can you hear us? You look pretty frozen. Stone-faced over there.
Oh, this is funny.
Oh, okay. Well.
We live in, well, not me anymore, but we live in literally the middle of nowhere. So
is your face frozen on yours too?
Yeah. So cell phone and internet reception out where I'm from is not good.
That's funny. So, okay. Well, anything else that you guys have questions with, or anything that I can help you with?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Who's talking?
I don't know.
I think it's Molly's mom.
It might be.
I think it's just like the really slow internet.
Oh. That's probably thinks we're making fun of her. She's gonna text me.
You'll have to text her, Molly.
Mom, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, she's back. Nancy, I'm so sorry. We're not laughing at you. Can you hear us now? Oh. You can use the chat. Do you have any questions? You can use the chat if you do. That's so sad. That's like Ashley Lindsay. She lives in the middle of nowhere and can't have internet.
Can you hear me?
It sounds like when you have like you can't speak and you type your words and it's like I'm so sorry. No, I can't hear you. Here. Okay. So Nancy, if you use the chat below, like the bottom screen, it says invite, manage participant, share screen, and chat. You can click chat and type in if you have any questions or if you want to write your takeaway. You can do that there. But yeah, your voice is so slow on this. I'm sorry.
Also, are you talking? Just something that really I like that you said was the don't overestimate others. That's a really big thing too.
Yes.
Like I'm just like, yes, they're so excited. They're going to do it. This is going to be amazing. And then womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, I had one coach. She told me I was like talking her up. She found a success club oh my gosh, Super Saturday. Like met up with Kelly, all this stuff. I planned a bunch of calls with her. And Kelly, I was like, this girl is an appointment. She canceled her challenge pack, canceled coaching, and what is it called? Deleted her Facebook all in a day, and she didn't even like talk to me about coaching, like quitting. Didn't even talk to me. I was like, oh, I texted her a couple times, nothing, and I thought she was going to be a rock star. So you can't want it for other people. And I stopped saying like this person's going to be a rock star as soon as I sign them up because those people end up like quitting and I'm like what I wait to see that they scheduled a getting started right call with me, that they're posting consistently before I make any type of kind of guess about that. So
yeah. I had a girl reach out. She was all excited to do it. I didn't hear from her for a week. I get this random message at like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to do this. Sign me up. So I like get out of bed, send her the link, get her signed up. She never finished the sign up and I've never heard back from her. She won't respond to my messages. It's like a big old Molly's womp, womp, womp.
I have had one girl tell me 4 times that she was signing up for coaching. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing it right now. And then I'm like, okay. Then I like check the next day and nothing. And like, she acts like nothing's wrong. Like I'll be like, hey girl, how are you? Oh, good. How are you? Like, what?
Yeah. Well, and Jason knows her. So he keeps like asking me, oh, did she sign up? Did she sign up? I'm like, nope. And he's like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, that's all right. She'll be one of those that like a month from now, she'll be ready.
Oh, yeah.
I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt.
I was wondering what you were doing, Molly. I'm taking a selfie to post to Facebook. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to take, there's only 3 of us now. Never mind. I was going to say, I'm going to take a screenshot. I'll take a screenshot of our what is coaching thing tonight. Do you guys have any?
I have one girl coming.
Yay! What about you, Molly?
I'm not positive because, again, I'm not trying to overestimate anybody, but 2 should be there, and but we'll see. These are people that I've been talking to for a while now, so who knows, but super exciting. My brand new coach, Devin, she can't make it because she's at work right now. She works at Chang's with me, but she has 2 people who will definitely be there, so.
That's exciting. Good. Yeah, I saw she posted she posted a video of her working out the other day. I thought that was
oh my god, I know. She texted me today and was like, I'm trying so hard, and yeah, she's gonna be great.
Will you do a video, and all you have to do is sign into your Zoom account and record it and you can just do it of you, of your like video tips. I feel like you're so good at that. Just make like a short little thing about your videos, what kind of, how you think of ideas, what you do. And I feel like that would be really helpful for your coaches and our team.
Absolutely.
Yay!
Speaking of recording videos, I'm going to do my Coach Basic ones this weekend and get them to you.
Oh yeah, I need to make that. Okay, so I need those by, it starts September 7th, but I'm going to have a guy schedule it. So if you could get them to me by, I'm going to say the 1st. If something happens, it's a little later, that's okay, but we'll say September 1st.
I'm going to have them to you by Sunday.
Okay, cool. I have to see if anybody signed up for the one with the rank, because I talked about Ruby wrong, so I think that's the only one I have to do. Rank update for video. Okay, well, I have a couple people that I invited to, and I didn't get to send them the link, so I'm going to get off of here and send those people the link. And then same spot at 8:30, feel free to hop on, and I'm going to record it so that you can use it in the future. So. All right, cool. Well, thanks, guys. I'll see you in a little bit.
Thanks, April.
Bye. See ya.